Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you are all doing fantastic. Today we're going to be discussing Lind Jax. You remember a couple weeks ago when I posted the video about the influencer who's had 3 failed adoptions so far? Well, rather than take any type of constructive criticism about her approach on things, she's decided to double down on her terrible, crappy, awful behaviors, and we're going to talk about it. Let's go, guys. So for those of you that don't know, Lind Jax is a TikToker and shared her story most recently about a failed adoption that happened. She was at the hospital and the mom and dad decided to change their mind and not give their baby up for adoption. I guess the mom decided that she had a little bit more support than she had originally anticipated and kind of, fell in love with her baby once she had her baby. Now, that being said, Lind came online and the way she presented all of this came from a really entitled standpoint, to the point where it was like she was upset that she couldn't just buy someone else's child and that it fell through. Now, when people said, yo, your attitude's pretty nasty, what do you think she did? Well, she doubled down on the nasty attitude, of course, and now in my opinion, I think that she is just rage baiting, which is a really interesting position to put yourself in as someone who is actively trying to adopt a child. Now you're starting a rage bait content farm. Choices, right? So the first thing that had a lot of people up in arms was, I guess, the way she was labeling the parents. So she ended up calling one parent burrito. And people were like, are you serious right now? Like, you're not serious right now. And rather than apologize or take accountability or anything of the sorts, she decided to double down with this video here. Choices, just choices.
I know there's been some talk on the alias names that I gave the potential fathers, including the now infamous Burrito. So I want to publicly set the record straight. His actual name was Taco.
And she thinks she's so funny. Look at this. She actually thinks that she's slaying with these responses and stuff. And it's like, you don't realize how incredibly toxic you're being right now. Like, do you actually not realize it? And nasty. And I just don't understand this type of behavior as someone who's actively trying to adopt a child. It's like, do you not think that future birth moms might look you up and see this? No, because I'm sure you weren't super honest in your adoption booklet, right? I don't know. Nasty ass behavior, if you ask me. And around the same time that she posted that, she also posted this video. And this is one of those videos where it's like, okay, listen, 2 things can be true at once. And we are all sick and tired of influencers coming on and just being like, look, I'm just like a silly little girly. Like, I'm just like a silly girly pop just dancing around, living my life. I'm the best. And it's like, no, what you said was gross. The way you spoke about those parents was nasty. And you ended up losing your adoption because of it, in my opinion. Probably not, but your energy and your vibes definitely made people take pause. But she just posts this. Imagine being mad about a stranger's life. Well, she's just being a silly girl on the internet. Because, 2 things can't be true at once, of course. Because bad people, can't dance around in cowboy boots and ride on roller skates, right? That means that she has to be an awesome person because she dances around like a fool sometimes. And also, I saw people commenting that it was really ironic that she was using the song Can't Steal My Joy while actively trying to steal other people's babies. Choices, right? And then she made this garbage AI video calling out the haters and stuff. And this was just like, why would you do this? Why would you do this? And didn't label it as AI, of course, because ethics, right? So her saying stuff like burritos are racist. It's like, no, you're racist for labeling someone and naming them burrito, potentially, depending, because we all know that she wasn't adopting a white child. And it's like, I don't know. I understand that haters are your biggest fans, and like there's a time and place to clap back at haters. We've all done it as content creators. We've all called out stupid comments or whatever. But she's doubling down and focusing on the hate and genuinely not taking any type of accountability for her crappy behaviors, for what she's done and what she said. And a lot of them are coming from adoptees and birth moms who are being like, no, like the way you're handling this is not child focused. It's not adoption centered, adoptee centered, and that's not okay. Adoption isn't a cure for your infertility. It's not a cure to expand your family or an easy way to expand your family. And if you're focused on adoption in those lights, then you're not focused on the right thing. You're not focused on helping a child. You're focused on your own selfish needs. And there are people being like, well, two things can be true at once. And it's like, no. Yes, the end goal might be a happy family that got to expand. But if that is the goal for adopting, then it's not adopting for the right reasons. It's not adopting to help a child. It's adopting to have a baby. It's adopting to expand your family. It's adopting to cure your infertility. And none of those is beneficial for the child, because what happens when the child grows up and has some behavioral issues or doesn't bond or wants to know their birth parents or, God forbid, are lied to about the fact that they're adopted? Now, she might have a hard time with that because her entire platform is adoption this, adoption that, and this poor child, if she ever does successfully adopt, will be heavily exploited on the internet. And that is the main reason I can guarantee that she's not willing to foster children, because you can't show them on social media. They have protections in place, which is wild that adoptees don't have any protections in place, but then you're kind of riding that line of telling parents how to parent, which is ridiculous. Laws need to be in place to protect children online, especially hyper vulnerable children like adoptees and foster children. But that's the reason she will never foster, guys. Like, let's be so for real right now. Now, one video that I did see was this one, and I haven't watched it yet, but it's talking about why adopt a newborn baby. Genuine question. Not sure if you've said so far, why a newborn? Surely there are many babies/infants, a few weeks to a few months old, that in need of families, right? Amazing question. And I already took some screenshots from the top comments on this, and her answer is less than desirable, to say the least. So let's take a look at why Lindsay must have a newborn baby.
I get this question a lot, and it's interesting because nobody's shaming people for getting pregnant, but somehow people feel very...
What a wild opening. Nobody's shaming people for getting pregnant.
Very comfortable shaming adopted parents for how they adopt. Why don't you just adopt an older child? And my question is, why aren't we asking everybody that? Why don't we just look at every growing family and say, why didn't you adopt a child who already needed a home? Because we understand that building a family is very personal. But the moment adoption enters the conversation, people turn it into this moral hierarchy, like there's a better or more selfless way to do it. And that's just not reality. Adoption is very complex. Older children often come with real loss, real trauma, and experiences that require a very specific level of preparation. I've seen this firsthand. I have friends who adopted a teenager, and they went through all the training. They prepared as much as they possibly could, and they are still completely overwhelmed, questioning all of it. Not because they've done anything wrong, but this is just something that they've never navigated before. And now this trauma isn't just affecting their teenager, it's impacting their whole family and their younger biological kids. That's real life, and that's why this isn't just something that you step into because it sounds more selfless. Choosing to adopt a baby doesn't mean I don't see the need for older children to be adopted. And it doesn't mean I don't recognize that trauma can come from separating a baby from their biological parents.
Yeah, okay.
It just means I'm being honest with where we're at and what we're ready for. And that's not selfish, that's responsible. Every child deserves more than just a home. They deserve a family
Oh my
that
God.
is fully prepared for them. And for us, this just feels like the path that we're called to. It might not make sense to everybody, but we're just trying to do this in a way that's actually good for the child that we're meant for.
That was honestly wild. I can't believe that she said that. I genuinely cannot believe that she said, so she doesn't want to adopt an older child because she doesn't want to put in the work to actually care for a older child who might have trauma, which means that even adopting a baby, it's not going to be child-centered and trauma-centered. She's completely neglecting all of that aspect of it because she thinks that a newborn baby is easier to indoctrinate into their lives and brainwash into their lives. And that's nasty. She's not willing to put in the work or effort. So even though this baby is being born into trauma by being separated from its birth mom, and for whatever reason is getting separated from its birth mom, she doesn't care. Wow, that was nasty. That was straight nasty. How high is this? What the heck? Oh, I hope the beginning of this. I had to get a new mic. My hair is everywhere. Had to get a new mic. Our old one died. It broke something. Something went wrong with the old one. So I'm hoping that the sound is okay, but I think I might have been blowing out the beginning of this video. Anyway, I'll try and fix it post. But yeah, so that was just straight. That was a lot. And then shaming their friend's teenager for having trauma and stuff. Like, okay, Lindsay, you are a piece of work. So then she has this one, which was 2 weeks after they had to give their daughter back. Their daughter back, not your daughter.
2 weeks after we gave our daughter back to her biological mom, someone asked me,
her mom.
"Do you have kids?" And I paused.
You're not.
And I
mom.
thought, I did have a daughter, but I don't anymore. I was a mom for 6 weeks, and now I'm not. The lady had no idea the loaded question that she had just asked me. Can you imagine if I was actually brutally honest with her, what that conversation would have looked like? So instead, I just said what I always do. We're working on it.
Everything she says has this condescending tone to it. Every word out of this woman's mouth is this entitled, condescending, I deserve this tone. And that's what a lot of people are calling her out for too. In like, there are so many babies that need help and you're not getting it. This comment here, and you keep repeating the issue. Adoption is not about building your family. It's about finding a family for a child in need. She needs to read this over and over again, preferably forever. That's on that one question about why is she only adopting a newborn? Why can't it be both? A beautiful, happy ending for all. Because adoption is about the adoptee. If it isn't adoptee-centered, then it's for the wrong reasons. And then further down that thread, this person said, because it is placing the wants and desires of the adoptive parents on the same level as the needs of the child. For adoption to be child-focused, the needs of the child come first and foremost. Adoption is not a family building tool. Those are good ways of putting it all. And then again, this one's just her response for a hater calling her out. Hater, whatever. Yes, it's being used for good. Your story is being used all over this app as an example of what not to do, and so much awareness is being raised. Even though you aren't a follower of mine, I appreciate your comment. Thanks to comments like this, it keeps driving traffic to my page. Again, she does have some supporters. Bless your heart. I know God has bigger plans for you both. So excited for you and all that God has in store. But for the most part, her page is filled with negativity. It is toxic, justifiably so. It's not this like negativity of anyone wishing anything towards her or ill will or anything like that, but it is this level of accountability that she's not willing to take. And it's wild because she's not willing to realize where she's gone wrong in all of this, what she's done wrong. Instead, she just keeps doubling down on it. So my best advice is just block this bitch because that's what she is. She is nasty. She does not deserve to adopt a child. And the fact that now she's rage baiting and doubling down on a lot of things that she's getting called out for is just proof in the pudding. in my opinion. But that's what I have for you guys. I just wanted to do a quick little update on her because I think that this woman needs to continue to be called out because she's just, it's just so nasty. And the fact that she doesn't realize her own wrongdoings in all of this really blows my mind. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day today, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will talk to you guys really soon. Bye, guys.